Thank you, Steph. And a lot of questions about just how many Moderna vaccines Canada can expect this month. We simply are not getting the answers from the company.
Expect to receive very soon a confirmation of what we expect to receive on the third week of February. And that is why those numbers are not currently shared with provinces. We just don't know what those numbers are for certain.
The man in charge of getting Canada's vaccine supplies, Major General Denis Fortin, says this week's shipment of Moderna doses was 20% smaller than expected. The company put it down to production issues. Now, still, the Prime Minister is confident we're going to get that 6 million Moderna and Pfizer vaccines by the end of March. Trudeau will address the COVID situation at 11:30 this morning. And as always, we're going to stream that one live on our website if you'd like to watch CityNews.ca. Meantime, Johnson & Johnson is looking to get U.S. approval for its one-shot coronavirus vaccine, one which can be stored in a regular fridge safely for up to 3 months. If it's approved, the U.S. would then have 3 COVID vaccines, along with Moderna and Pfizer. Canada has a deal with Johnson & Johnson for 10 million guaranteed doses, with the option to buy 28 million more. The company says latest data showing the shot is about 66% effective. COVID deaths across the U.S. have now topped 450,000. Well, it has been years in the making. The Vaughan Hospital finally opening its doors this Sunday. It's the first net new Ontario hospital in 30 years, and its initial focus, beds and staff dedicated solely to the COVID-19 response.
They're all looking forward to starting in the new space, recognizing that we've been called to action, if you will, and this is an opportunity to step up.
This state-of-the-art facility will be taking in patients from other GTA hospitals to help alleviate the strain on critical care because of this pandemic. It features 35 ICU beds and an additional 150 beds to help in a non-critical capacity. A GTA command table is going to determine which patients will be transferred to this site. And coming up in about an hour's time, I'm going to bring you more on this story as they prepare in their final days before opening. So the education minister, as you probably remember yesterday, dropping a shocker here. He is considering canceling March break.
I'm just being straight up with you. I've sought the opinion of the Chief Medical Officer of Health. If he believes and the health experts believe it is better to keep kids in school learning, then I will accept that advice.
Okay, so that's what he told us yesterday. Now, several school boards heading back to class, which we know for in-class learning, but Toronto, Peel, and York going back the week after. The head of the province's high school teachers union says the province is floating a trial balloon to gauge opinion. Sam Hammond, who's president of the elementary teachers union, says that students, teachers, and families need that break after all that learning. And there are a lot of questions about whether or not teachers and staff will be paid for all of this. Hammond will be joining us just after 7 o'clock here on BT, so stay tuned to see if this idea is even feasible. A City News exclusive next now. The province facing 9 orders for unsafe work conditions, and this is all related to COVID-19 protocols at 2 correctional facilities. First, at Maplehurst and Milton, 186 inmates and 52 staff members are infected. And Vanier, which is the adjacent women's facility, has a total of 28 active cases. Among the infractions here, inadequate training on COVID screening and social distancing. The Ministry of the Solicitor General has until next week to comply with the orders. Yesterday, the province's medical officer of health saying last week's reports show close to 0 cases for the influenza virus, while Ontario recording 152 cases of the highly infectious COVID variant. The TTC proposing that it shut down the Scarborough RT in 2023 and run buses for the next 7 years until a subway is built. And this is in the ongoing political flip-flop over an LRT and a subway. Councillor Paul Ainsley has been a supporter of a subway initially, but not anymore.
Every planner, professional planner, thinks it's a bad idea. Politicians should listen to the experts.
All right, so we're going to bring you to a live look right now. The TTC says it cannot keep the SRT running until 2030 without a $500 million investment. The TTC now proposing 2 options: purchase 60 new buses or pull buses from other routes. And we're going to continue to follow this story here through the morning and gauge reaction. On the roads now, recent data reporting a massive drop in congestion ever since the pandemic began. No surprise, but coming up at 6:15, is this the end of the dreaded rush hour as we know it? Our Stephanie Henry investigates. And then at 7 o'clock, as mentioned, how the Elementary Teachers Union feels about the province possibly scrapping March break. Sam Hammond will join us live. And coming up next, so yeah, we're not supposed to be gathering for Super Bowl parties because of COVID, but what's that going to mean for ratings and advertisers? Mike Epple with the answers ahead.